called The Squirrels Who Squabble because I'm sure some of you moms have some squirrels in your household who squabble sometimes. This is by Rachel Bright and Jim Field, and it's a cute little story. And I picked this because Mr. Schwartz and I like to sit in our living room and we watch the squirrels try to climb up our bird feeder, and then we watch them slide back down. So it's kind of fun. So here's the story. In a towering forest, where summer had been, the leaves turned to gold as a cold wind blew in. And as autumn arrived with the sky raging red, the sleepiest creatures got ready for bed. So it's not winter now, but this is about winter time when they're trying to find food. While up in a tree swung a flighty young squirrel who everyone knew as Spontaneous Cyril. Now, most foresty folk had seen to their needs through the plentiful months of mushrooms and seeds. They built up their stores so they'd all be well fed, though the frosting of winter they glittered ahead. So they're all the animals looking for food, getting ready for winter. But Cyril, he lived in the now and the here. He'd adventured and partied his way through the year, so his cupboard was empty. His hollow was bare. He hadn't a mouthful of food anywhere. So he didn't prepare himself for the winter. So he has nothing to eat. But wait! What was that? Over there, take a look. A single lone pine cone wedged in a nook. He squealed with delight, and for very good reason, for inside were the very last nuts of the season. So one little pine cone's left. But Cyril wasn't alone. There were more hungry eyes. Yes, plan ahead Bruce had his sights on the prize. So there he's got some competition. Though he'd gathered fresh treasures of every sort, Bruce was convinced he was one pine cone short. I simply must have it, he wistfully cried, as he dreamt of the fresh, juicy pine nuts inside. So who do you think's gonna get it, Cyril or Bruce? Let's find out. So, as Cyril set off on his way to the ground, Bruce, he was also last pine cone bound. They sprinted and scurried with no time to gamble. They scratched at the bark in their scampering scramble. But their panic and haste shook the tips of the spruce, and the pine cone, it trembled, and then it came loose. Oh boy, they're gonna have to go get it. Let's see what happens. Both squirrels gave chase at a lightning pace. This was the start of a wild, nutty race. It's mine, shouted Cyril. No, mine, hollered Bruce. You don't stand a chance. Give up, it's no use. I'm hungry, cried Cyril. This cone is not yours. Stay back, shouted Bruce. This cone's for my stores. There they are. They're squabbling, just like the story said. It boinged over bushes and flew through the air. It binged on the nose of a slumbering bear. It bounced over boulders, then came to a stop. Then teetered and wobbled and quivered and uh-oh, what do you think's gonna happen? Here it is, on the edge of the cliff. Plop! Both defeated each other at last? But each was intent on how he could win. So they didn't quite notice a bird sweeping in. Okay, everybody wants that. Let's see who gets it in the end. Cyril and Bruce, they watched in dismay as their cone disappeared up, up, and away. Come back, shouted Cyril. There are nuts, exclaimed Bruce. But all hope was gone. It was simply no use. And meanwhile, they drifted right up to the ledge. Greed, it was driving them over the edge. There they go. Cyril and Bruce, they had taken a fall. They were paying the price for wanting it all. They had squandered their chances to team up and share. Would their nutty young hopes simply end in despair? So what do you think's going to happen? Hopefully there's a happy ending. Let's see. Bruised and bedraggled, they swept past dry land. Cyril grabbed at a branch with a trembling hand. Catching Bruce with the other, he heaved and he huffed and pulled into safety with panting and puffs. They dragged themselves up with sputtering wriggles. Then Bruce looked at Cyril and, what do you think rhymes with wriggles? Let's see. Exploded in giggles. How silly we are, he managed to mutter. How greedy I've been, he proclaimed with a splutter. We shall change from today. May the squabbling cease. We should celebrate, seeing we're both in one piece. They survived the fall, so now they realize they helped each other and they're going to be friends. From that day forward, they made a great pair. They would gather together and found they could share. Yes, Cyril and Bruce, they knew in the end. Look at all the feasts with everybody. They're sharing with everybody in the forest. So they knew in the end, the best thing to share is a laugh with your friend. So this ended as a happy story. They're not squabbling anymore. So think about that when you disagree with your friends or have a squabble. You're still friends. So this is the squirrels who squabbled. Have a great weekend. Bye.